Assalomu alaykum hurmatli talabalar. Bugun sizlar bilan O'zbekiston Milliy Universiteti Xorijiy filologiya fakulteti Ingliz filologiyasi kafedrasi o'qituvchisi Jabbarova Nozima Kamoliddinimni Boшланғич sinflarda chet tili o'qitish metodikasi fanidan ma'ruzamni boshlayman. Keling, ma'ruzamni ingliz tilida olib borsam. Welcome to the lecture. The lecture is about lesson planning. There is an email. You may write your questions to this email if you have any questions about the lecture. The outline of the lecture, we will answer to some questions about lesson planning. Why is lesson planning important? And what do you take into account when you design lesson plan? And types of lesson plan, components of the lesson plan, and these kind of issues we will discuss in our lecture. I would like to start with the Jeremy Harmer's sentence. The best teachers are those who think carefully about what they're going to do in their classes and who plan how they're going to organize the teaching and learning. What do you think? Why is lesson planning important? It's important because it looks like a map in your route. If you have a map in your lesson, you will find easily the way, and you may start easily and finish. And you haven't any just stops and pauses in your lesson. It's like a reminder for the teacher when they get distracted, being ready to cope with whatever happens, being clear on what you want to teach. And what do you think? How is lesson planning important for the teacher and learner? For the teacher, it's important because they feel confident when they have in their hands lesson plan. They don't lose face in front of their learners. They don't have to think on their feet. And they will easily start and finish their lesson and conduct their lesson. For the learner, they realize that the teacher cares for their learning. They attend the structured lesson easier to assimilate. Okay. Now, there are some terminology about types of lesson plan and curriculum, syllabus, and unit plan and class lesson plan. What is curriculum? It's a description of the plan of studies of the school, university. Syllabus, it's a description of the course content of the specific course. And unit plan and class plan. Today we will discuss about lesson plan. Types of class lesson plans. There are 3 types of lesson plans. One of them detailed lesson plan, the second of them semi-detailed lesson plan, the third one understanding by design. Detailed lesson plan, it tells you just already that it's everything is in detail. In this plan, both teachers and students' activities are presented and ready. And any teacher can take your detailed lesson plan and enter to your lesson. Semi-detailed lesson plan, it's like a half of the detailed lesson plan. It's having general game plan, what you wanted to cover for that subject on that particular day. Understanding by design, it's a type of the lesson plan where 3 stages. The first stage tells about desired results, assessment evidence, and learning plan. And today we will discuss about the simple, detailed lesson plan. What do you take into account when you design the simple lesson plan? You should pay attention to the 5 principles. While you are designing lesson plan, it should be different, coherence, balance, flexibility, and challenge inside the lesson plan. These 5 guiding principles you should have in your lesson plan. Now, one by one, we will see why we write the lesson planning. Because you have different students which they have the different learning styles. Some of them could be the kinesthetic learners, others could be the audiovisual learners. That's why you should pay attention to their learning styles to consider different intelligent types. What you can vary? You can vary the content, activity, and interaction modes. It could be just started with a whole class lesson and pair work, individual work, And different materials also will be useful while you vary different lesson planning. For varying these different components, there are some ways you have seen on the slide. The first one is a tempo and pace. Activity could be the fast moving or slow and reflective. It depends on your students' just reaction. Organization also could be different, pair work, group work, and mood and skill. It can be just integrated or just listening or reading skill. Then difficulty also. Sometimes some tasks could be challenging for some students or easy for someone. And mood. Your lesson plan could be just happy or sad mood lesson plan. And sometimes your activities also could be active and passive. And just these kind of things could vary your lesson planning. Coherence. What does it mean, coherence in lesson planning? Every task should be smoothly transit from the one pillar to the next one. Activity should be joined or related from the first one to the next one. Next one is challenge. Learners are intelligent human beings and come to class with the knowledge previously acquired. A new lesson should give something just interesting and knowledge it should have. The lesson that doesn't challenge is a lesson doesn't motivate. And some students say, it's easy lesson and they will play their telephones. That's why try to add something just challenging inside the lesson planning. The next one is flexibility. Primary education children usually have some difficulties while they are preparing reading, writing tasks. Try to use the flexibility. If they are doing some tasks slowly, try to wait. If they are doing just quickly, just move from one task to the next one. Use different techniques, strategies, and methods during the lessons. Everything should be balanced in your lesson. Successful teacher is the one who is able to observe the right dosage and makes the learners enjoy the lesson. Okay, now let's answer to the next question. What do you take into account when you design lesson plan? You should pay attention in your lesson plan, tasks and activities to select and students grouping patterns, interaction modes, time, materials, didactic auxiliaries to be used, an objective set out to be achieved, prior knowledge of the learners, their age, their ability. Everything should be taken into account when you are designing lesson plan. Now let's move to the next part. We will discuss about components of the lesson plan, about 4 components of the lesson plan. The first one is about information about the learners. You should know everything about your learners. It starts from the characteristics of your learners. Who are they? How old are they? What kind of learning style they have? About their age, about their interests, about their hobby. Before preparing good lesson plan, you should pay attention to these kind of things also. The second one, objectives. Objectives should be smart, achievable, and it should be inside the curriculum, official program. Sometimes teachers should take from the textbook, but put the objective which can you achieve at the end of the lesson. Procedure. Logical sequencing. Teacher knows how to start the lesson and how to finish. How much time to spend to each activity. What to do in the main part and what to do in conclusion part. Who does what? Which students does just which activity? How interact with them with each other? The next one is aids. Next component is visual aids, real aids, authentic materials, textbook worksheets, board, wallpaper, all these things we call it aids. Aids could be even just a cup of tea or just everything which you have, which is related to the lesson, or wallpaper, maps, boards, or realias, textbooks, worksheets. Let's come conclusion. As a conclusion, I could say that in a good lesson activity, you will start from the simple one and you will move to the complex one. There should be a variety of activities and interaction modes. In a good lesson, you have a balance, coherence, and different tasks and activities. When we plan our teaching, we need to consider the overall objective and the connection between each separate lesson. Our lessons should be connected with the previous one and the next one. This is the end of the lecture. Thank you for your attention.